What's up, everybody? I hope you all are doing well. Today, we're going to be talking about this, the Galaxy Tab S7 Plus. I've been using it for a little bit over a week, and I have to say I am blown away by the experience. Since Apple recently dropped a bombshell with the 2020 iPad Air, which I gotta say, looks like a mighty fine tablet, I figured it would be cool to give you 7+ reasons why I would choose the Galaxy Tab S7 Plus over the new 2020 iPad Air. Before I do that, let me quickly preface this video by saying I have not used, seen, poked, touched, turned on, turned off, or slept with the 2020 iPad Air. My thoughts and opinions could technically change once I get the device in hand, and I'll definitely be pre-ordering, so if you don't want to miss that content, make sure to subscribe. I'm basing this video solely off of the specs Apple has listed on their website, my years and years of experience using every iPad since Generation 1, and my experience using the Tab S7 Plus. By no means is this trying to steal Apple's thunder or downplay the 2020 iPad Air. It's simply to provide you a choice or an alternative to the iPad in case iOS or iPadOS just isn't your thing. With that out of the way, let's talk about the Tab S7 Plus, beginning with some key specs. The Galaxy Tab S7 Plus packs a Snapdragon 865 Plus and 8GB of RAM. It packs a 10,900 mAh battery and it supports 45-watt charging. The 2020 iPad Air is the first device we have seen sporting the A14 Bionic, a 5nm 6-core CPU with a 4-core GPU and a 16-core neural engine chip. At the time of this video, based off of a leaked Antutu benchmark, the Snapdragon 865 and the 865 Plus is technically outperforming the A14 Bionic by quite a bit. This could have to do with pre-production software and not being optimized, or possibly discrepancies in the 5nm chip production process. Once I get my hands on the 2020 iPad Air, I will do a thorough performance test between these two tablets to take a closer look at what's going on. The iPad Air of 2019 had 3GB of RAM, so I think it's safe to say the 2020 variants will have a minimum of 3GB. Unfortunately, I have no information on battery size. Anyways, with that out of the way, let's kick it off with reason number one for choosing the Tab S7 Plus, and that's the display. Out of all of the tablets I've used, including 2-in-1s like the Surface Pro, the Tab S7 Plus takes the cake, especially when it comes to just overall display quality. It has slightly more resolution than the iPad Air 2020, and it's also bigger, coming at 12.4 inches versus 10.9 inches. It has a 16:10 aspect ratio, making it more suitable for watching videos and playing games, versus the iPad's more or less 4:3 aspect ratio, which is suitable for productivity style work. This is all subjective, by the way, since personally, I don't have a problem with either of these aspect ratios, and I like both equally. The only benefit I have to give the Tab S7 Plus is when holding the device in portrait, it's not only easier to hold, but due to its longer form factor, it's better for reading in my opinion. The Tab S7 Plus packs a Super AMOLED display, which should provide punchier contrast and more vibrant colors versus the IPS panel found on the iPad Air 2020. You will immediately see this as soon as you turn on the Tab S7 Plus. It's just brilliant. The icing on the cake, however, is the 120Hz refresh rate. It makes everything extremely smooth, whether you're gaming, scrolling through the UI, or watching a movie. Unfortunately, Apple reserves promotion for their iPad Pro lineup, so the iPad Air will be capped out at 60Hz. It's not a deal breaker by any means, but it's just simply not comparable to the Tab S7 Plus. To go along with the display, number two are the quad speakers. iPads have always packed great speakers, but the quad speakers on the iPad Pros are just simply on another level. Unfortunately, these speakers are not getting passed down to the iPad Air 2020. Instead, it's using a dual stereo speaker design. The Tab S7 Plus, however, is using AKG-tuned quad speakers that sound really good. They're not on the same page as the 2020 iPad Pro I've been using, but they should definitely beat out the dual stereo speaker system on the 2020 iPad Air. Have a quick listen for yourself.
Yeah, round and round we go. Life is like a merry-go. Sometimes I lose control. Like, whoa. Round and round we go. Life is like a merry-go. Sometimes I lose control. Whoa. Round and round we go. Life is like a merry-go, and sometimes I can't let go of my feelings, let go of my pride. Even though I tried it like 1,000 times, I would be lying if I said you wasn't by my side. But when I needed you the most, I saw you running high. Oh,
The third reason I would opt for the Tab S7 Plus is the S Pen. Not only is it included in the box, but thanks to that 120Hz display and the huge improvements Samsung has made with latency, the experience is simply incredible. I also love the way Samsung made their optional book cover keyboard case to tuck the pen away, making it out of sight and out of mind, which reduces any stress or worry you may have about losing your stylus. The one thing I will give the iPad is app selection, especially when it comes to specific apps that utilize the Apple Pencil. I just find that iPad OS has more professional sketching or graphic designing applications. Moving on to number 4, we have DeX and wireless DeX. These two things could easily be a deciding factor for some when it comes to choosing between these two tablets. DeX allows you to use the Tab S7 Plus in more of a Chrome OS or desktop style environment. This gives you huge benefits in multitasking. Sure, iPad OS has come a long way, and running apps side by side does help, but it's nothing compared to having multiple app windows open at once, just like you would on a true laptop. The great thing is you can set up DeX to automatically start when attaching the keyboard to the Tab S7 Plus. So you don't even have to worry with, going into the quick toggles and switching it on manually. I'm going to dive into DeX on the Tab S7 Plus even further in a separate video, so I won't get too crazy in this one. Wireless DeX makes casting the same desktop-like environment to larger screens ridiculously easy. This is useful for business individuals or students that tend to give presentations frequently, or if you just want to share some photos or videos with the fam. Additionally, the S Pen can act as a slideshow remote when doing these things. 5 comes down to the price, which I'm sure many of you are about to attack me for saying since the iPad Air is $599 and the Tab S7 Plus is $849, but please just hear me out. When looking at the storage configuration of the iPad Air, you're only getting 64 gigabytes versus the 128 gigabytes on the Tab S7 Plus. To make things more comparable, you need to step up to the 256 gigabyte option, which now puts you at $749. The Tab S7 Plus also comes with a stylus, which would cost an additional $129 for the iPad Air 2020, making it $30 more expensive altogether. Of course, you may not want a pen, and 64 gigabytes of storage might be plenty for you. If that's the case, then the iPad Air is definitely cheaper. But it comes down to what you need, what you want, and what you already have. To go along with 5, Samsung offers aggressive trade-in options, so you can technically get the price of the Tab S7 Plus even lower with an eligible trade-in. Make sure to check out the current offerings as well as any special incentives like Spotify, YouTube Premium, stuff like that. It all adds up and creates a killer value. The 7th reason also piggybacks off of number 5 since the Tab S7 Plus has user upgradable storage via a micro SD card slot up to 1 terabyte. I don't even need to elaborate any further on why this is awesome, especially when you consider that the iPad Air can only be upgraded with cloud storage or by connecting an external drive through the USB-C port. Numero 8 is faster charging speeds. The Tab S7 Plus may ship with a weaker charger than the iPad Air 2020, but it is compatible with Samsung's 45-watt charger. In theory, this should give you slightly faster charging speeds, especially burst charges, since the iPad tops out at 30 watts, if I'm not mistaken. 9th is all about the Snapdragon 865 Plus since it supports 5G connectivity. In fact, the Tab S7 Plus is the first tablet in the United States to support 5G, including ultra-wideband for insane speeds. According to Apple's website, iPad Air supports 4G LTE speeds and Wi-Fi 6, but that doesn't mean Apple can't switch things up when it starts to ship the device or even after through an update, since the A14 should be the same chip making its way into upcoming 5G iPhones. Lastly is cloud gaming. I understand Apple has officially stated Xbox Game Pass and other streaming services will be coming to the App Store, but it's already here on Android. Plus, thanks to the 120Hz AMOLED display, cloud gaming has never looked this good on a tablet, at least in my opinion. Not to mention, you can still play Fortnite on the Tab S7 Plus. Alright, so there we have it. That was 10 reasons I would choose the Tab S7 Plus over the iPad Air 2020, at least right now. Like I said, this could change once I use it and get the device in hand, but honestly, based off the reasons I listed and my experience with the Tab S7 Plus, I wouldn't count on my mind being changed. Let me know what you think. Am I right, or am I gonna eat my words in October? Sound off down below. If you enjoyed this video, consider giving it a thumbs up. Subscribe for more videos just like this, and I will see you wonderful people in the next video.